I'm going to share with you the YouTube strategy and the playbook that I'm going to be using to get 100,000 subscribers and make hundreds of thousands of dollars as a result. And if you're sitting there like, dude, what is he talking about? Like, I've done the same thing with Instagram. 100,000 followers and 500 million views and made hundreds of thousands of dollars from it with my consulting business. So it's literally the same thing, different game, slightly different principles. And so I want to share with you what I'm doing and what are the insights that you could do it and copy yourself, because this works. And I'll show you what I did for Instagram as well, so you can have that nugget in there as well. So okay, let's jump into it. There are two things that we need to focus on first. And these are like preliminary actions and skills that you need. And those are the things that I'm working on right now. And so number one is that we need to read a lot, okay? And we need to do research, because ultimately, like, we need to have things to talk about. And if we don't read or do research, or how else are we going to get information? You could watch podcasts, you could do all that stuff, right? But reading is the superpower. And so it is a fundamental thing. And you do reading, and then number two is you write. Okay, these are the preliminary skills that we need and the actions that we need to accumulate knowledge and be able to, present that knowledge online. And this is, day 22 or 23 of uploading YouTube video every day. And I recommend that you do the same thing, simply because I'm more confident on camera in how I speak, how I show up. And it is a result of the evidence that I've accumulated from posting consistently on YouTube. It is one of the most important things, and I highly recommend you do it. So let's get into Instagram, because Instagram is how I got started, and I don't want to neglect it, because this is a super powerful platform, right? And so the thing about Instagram is that I'm going towards this proximity strategy as YouTube becomes a bigger thing for me. And so Instagram is for proximity and effectively discovery, and then YouTube is for the deep trust. But YouTube also gets reach and also gets discovery. So they're very powerful platforms, and they do slightly different things. YouTube has shorts, Instagram has carousels and all that other stuff. So with Instagram, the strategy for me was to post a lot and invoke emotion or relatability. Okay, and so by doing that, you get the top of funnel reach, right? So like, you post consistently, you get that top of funnel. And I sort of like saying like the funnel stages, but it doesn't tell you what the post should do, right? So it's like top, middle, or bottom of funnel. It's like, okay, those are stages of a buyer's journey. But in reality, when we want to look at it, it's like, you can attract, orient, prove, and convert. And this is the AOPC framework that I constantly mention. It's what I created, okay? And so AOPC. And so you attract people in, you orient them to you, your worldview, and other problems that they experience. And my handwriting is absolutely terrible, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And so then we prove that we can do what we say we do based on that orientation, right? We prove, and then we convert them, okay? And so you should map every single post that you think about. You don't want to just post randomly and like not have a strategy regarding this. Like, does this post have a function? Am I posting to attract, orient, prove, or convert? Carousels are like a workhorse. They can pretty much guide someone throughout this entire journey. That you can have the first slide to attract, and then you orient them to a specific problem or skill set or whatever you're offering, right? And then you can prove that you do it on the second to last slide, and then you can convert them with a lead magnet. And so this gets into the lead magnet strategy. This is organic, right? This is what we call organic. What I also did was I did outreach. And so this is exactly how I was able to get $25,000 per month simply by outreach. But I had the brand that had the authority for the outreach to convert much easier. This is a strategy that you need to run, okay, in tandem with lead magnets. And so with lead magnets, what I'm doing now that I have YouTube and now that I'm growing this channel is that I only care about email. I don't care and convos and conversations, okay? The email is the thing that I get. And so I have a 7-day email training, and every single lead magnet that I post, or every conversion piece or CTA, is funneled to this 7-day email training. Okay, and so I have a ManyChat sequence. The ManyChat sequence asks for their email, and then I send that email data over to Go High Level, and then they get added, they get tagged, and then they get added to the 7-day email training, okay? And so with that being said, that's the email strategy. Every single CTA, I only care about emails. I care about things that I own. That's one of the most important things. And so what does this do in tandem? This all in tandem, it gives me 2 areas that I can have conversations. Number 1 is in the DMs, and number 2 is in email. And in the email, I can say, reply to this email with when, and I'll send you my offer document. That's what I do. I send them my offer document, and it outlines everything that I do with my consulting program. And it's a CTA within email that I own that distribution, which is really powerful. And then the DMs, you can qualify. You qualify them, and then you also just build rapport. Okay? And so that's pretty much it. And then I have a DM appointment setting framework, or if you don't want to have sales calls, you can also do the email strategy, and then you could even close without a sales call in the DMs, which is great, and we do that all the time. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. The AOPC framework, you can go much deeper into the AOPC framework, okay? It's like, what type of posts attract people? It's like, generally attract content is like, you want broad reach under the defined scope and umbrella of what you actually do. And so if I'm a brand strategist or content strategist, I'm really only going to be talking about content strategy. Okay, and so I want to attract people who are interested in content strategy so that they can make more money. And that's what the attract piece of content is going to do, but it has to be relatable and invoke emotion or desire, and be applicable to as many people as possible within that defined umbrella. That's the way I like to think about it. Okay, and then like you can go so much deeper into this stuff, the orient, prove, and convert. Carousels are going to be a workhorse here, and they're also great for getting email and getting CTAs. So that is Instagram. I'm going to redo YouTube over here. So YouTube is going to be an entirely different thing. And YouTube is basically what I'm doing, and this is why I opened this up with, you want to write and read. And so reading and writing is incredibly powerful for YouTube. Why? Because I'll literally, I'll show you right now. So being able to write is the superpower. Reading helps with, your cognitive ability to, first of all, focus, but also get more, ideas and, different neurological pathways and, basically stimulating your brain. And so when you write those ideas down and using your own thinking, this is how everything sort of starts. And I'll go over my process here. So I have a writing framework. It's the Feynman technique, or a modified version of the Feynman technique. There's going to be a link in the description, and you can just download that. That's a really good way to actually, ideate and then solidify your depth of the idea and of what you're talking about. Because so basically you write something, and I just want to go into this first, right? So you write a bunch of things, right? Your ideas and your thought processes. What this does is it gives you 3 channels to distribute this thinking and this writing. You can upload it, and this is what I'm doing, uploading it on Medium as an article, which is like more distribution. I can get emails, I can get people to be interested in my thinking. You upload that writing to Medium, and then you upload that as an email later that day, and then you upload a YouTube video based on that writing piece. Okay, and so this one thing that I did in the morning gave me 3 different distribution assets for the day, which is insane. That's one of the most important things, is actually writing out all of your ideas and how you think and the problems and how you resolved it, your own experience. That way you have the depth to be able to go into that stuff in a Medium article. You structure it a little bit better. It's very structured with Medium articles. You have to go pretty deep. Right? So email, you don't have to go as deep in the email, but it can be, and then you can have a CTA and, structure all that as you go. But the YouTube video is where it's powerful, because you get a lot of you get a more powerful engine of distribution. And that's the way I like to think about it. So, and then what do we do with YouTube? YouTube, we gather emails from the, like lead magnets in the description, right? Literally what I just said, right? I get the email, I send you the asset, and then you're in my sequence now. And so I'm getting multiple touch points to warm you up and build trust. And it's a really good strategy is what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's what you want to do. This is what I'm doing, okay? And so you get the emails, and then with YouTube, I'm also going to be creating a school community. And this is one of the biggest things that I've been trying to find, because over here on our side, we like, philosophy, psychology, we like game theory, we like strategy, we like content, personal branding. I'm just writing the first letter of all of them, but you get the point. We like all of this more academically complicated stuff and being able to use those insights as enhanced strategy, meta level thinking outside the box. I've yet to come across a community that encompasses all of this, or like at least these applicable academic principles where we can really think about complex topics and think about the strategies that we can use from those ideas to create YouTube videos, to create emails, to create Medium articles, to get a competitive advantage from everybody else, because that's inherently what we want to do, is we want to be ahead of the curve, okay? And so that's what my school community is going to be about. I haven't even launched it yet, okay? So I haven't built a community yet, and I'm really excited to, because I know it's going to be super powerful for my audience. And what is the core thing here? I get a warm audience here that I can upsell into high ticket consulting or coaching. And so I get this warm pool of people that I'm constantly warming with my emails, with my YouTube videos, with all of this school community thinking and stuff, okay? And so like you get so many different touch points, and you're just warming these people so that you're the obvious choice for a high ticket consulting offer. This is the strategy. And this is like the business architecture of the strategy. This isn't like actually, the YouTube, how I'm structuring the thumbnails, or how I'm, doing all of this, the titles, okay? Like that, those are tactical things that like they're really, really important, super important, arguably the most important thing on YouTube, right? And then you have retention. How do you actually keep people throughout the video the entire time? And so all of this stuff is tactical YouTube strategy, okay? And so this is something that I'm actively learning right now, and I'm applying my Instagram attention psychology that I understood of getting 500 million views in less than a year. I'm applying these principles to my YouTube. And so that's the whole idea, is leveraging the skills that you already have, having a defined architecture and way and touch points, because a buyer path's journey is never linear. It's always, they're going to watch YouTube, they're going to join your school community, you're going to hit them with emails, and then you never know which avenue is going to be the one that they convert through. You just want to make sure that each touch point has an ability for them to convert. Because imagine they see the email and there's nothing there. And so they have to hop back over to Instagram, they DM you, and then you have to have you set the appointment. There's too much resistance there. And so you want easy entrance everywhere. That's the way I like to think about it. And so that's the strategy. Hopefully you find this valuable. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing. And this is the Instagram strategy is exactly what I did. It's very simple. Again, the people who are selling you complex things want to make it complex for you. That way there's this gap between you and them. And therefore it's like, oh, it's complex, it must work. Like that's the whole idea there. And it doesn't have to be complex. It can be simple, but again, it's not easy. Those are the two very different things there, okay? And so hopefully you found this valuable. I will see you in the next one, guys. Peace out.